Week 15 of the NFL season is over, and overall, it was an okay week. I don't think anything too spectacular happened this week besides maybe a couple of upsets, but I mean, that happens like every week. So, yeah, it was an okay week. Nothing too spectacular compared to other weeks, but we're kind of getting to the point where teams are starting to clinch. A lot of the NFL teams, a lot of the playoff teams have already locked in their spot, but most of them still haven't locked in their seed yet, so the Ravens, Bills, Patriots, and Chiefs, we already know that they're in, but we don't know what seed they're going to be. I mean, it's kind of easy to guess, I guess you could say, but nothing's official yet. So we're nearing that point of the season. Week 16, more of that's going to get cleared up, more of the playoff picture, and obviously week 17 finalizes it. So this is the last 2 weeks, man. After this week, that's already over. That's it. 2 more weeks and then playoff football. That's crazy, man. Like, it's bittersweet because, it's the playoffs. The good teams get to go at it, good games. But then football is almost over, so that sucks. But anyways, let's get into these Week 15 games. Starting off with the Thursday Night Football game, Jets at Ravens. The Ravens won 42-21. This game wasn't competitive at all. The Ravens just took care of business. They did what they're supposed to do. Next game, Texans at Titans. The Texans won this game 24-21. The Texans, even though they still had control of the AFC South coming into the game, even though regardless of the outcome, the Texans still technically would have had control of the AFC South because the Titans needed a season sweep for them to win the division over Houston. But, the Texans went into Tennessee and they got the win. And quite honestly, the Texans left a lot of points on the board. This game could have been a complete blowout, but it was a 3-point game. So, yeah, Houston goes to 9-5. They're going to win the AFC South most likely for second straight year in a row and like the 4th time in O'Brien's tenure here in Houston, and I believe the 6th time this decade. So 2010s, the Texans owned the AFC South. You can go ahead and write that down. Next game, Buccaneers at Lions. The Buccaneers won this game 38-17. I mean, it's the Bucs, man. Explosive offense, fun to watch. Jameis Winston don't care. He just throws the ball. But what sucks about the Buccaneers at the moment is last week they lost Mike Evans for the remainder of the season with a hamstring injury. And then this week against the Lions, they lost Godwin for the remainder of the season with a hamstring injury. So, yeah, the Bucs, these last 2 games will be without their top 2 playmakers. I mean, regardless, Jameis Winston don't care. He's going to throw the ball. He's going to be fun to watch anyways. So, yeah. Lions, well, 3-10-1. I mean, what much else can you say about them? They're down to their 3rd-string quarterback, Stafford. He got hurt. He hasn't played in a while, so I mean, it was expected for the Buccaneers to win this game. Next game, Broncos at Chiefs. Chiefs won 23-3. This game really wasn't competitive at all, but it would have been a fun game to watch. I didn't get a chance to watch it, but it was a snow game, so anytime you get a chance to watch a snow game, I feel like that's good, man. Snow games they're just great. Next game, Packers versus Bears in Green Bay. The Packers win this game 21-13. And honestly, I feel like this game really wasn't all that competitive. The Packers took care of business. They took care of the Bears. And the Packers are going to go back to the playoffs after missing out last year. Now, I'm not sure if the Packers will make any noise in the playoffs after that beating they took by the Niners a couple weeks ago. I'm not quite sure if I can trust the Packers again, but who knows, man. Aaron Rodgers, whenever he gets going, and he's hard to stop. But the NFC is stacked this year. I would say from top to bottom, but you got the Cowboys and Eagles in there, so it's really not stacked from top to bottom. The top 5 teams, sure, but the winner of the NFC East, yeah, not threatening. Next game, Patriots at Bengals. Patriots won this game 34-13. The Patriots had to cheat to win this game. Yeah, I'm pretty sure you guys saw the reports. Spygate 2.0. The Patriots were filming the Bengals. I don't know what that was about. The footage is there. They released the footage. I think it was Fox Sports that released the footage on Sunday, and it's evident that they're recording the Bengals sideline. So, yeah, I don't know if Belichick has any involvement, but someone from the Patriots organization told them to go record the Bengals sideline. So the Patriots are most likely going to get punished for it, and honestly, I think they should get punished for it. Like, what in the world were those guys doing recording the Bengals sideline, They knew what they were doing, That's at least what I believe. So, yeah, that's pretty much the only story out of this game. The Patriots took care of business. But, let's just put like a little asterisk mark right there. They had to cheat for it. The Patriots had to cheat to beat the Bengals. That's kind of funny. Anyways, next game. Dolphins at Giants. The Giants beat the Dolphins 36-20. Eli Manning is back to 500 on his career record. So that's pretty cool. Giants fans gave Eli Manning a standing ovation. Even though the guy, late into his career these past 2 years, maybe past 3 years, hasn't been good, the guy won them 2 Super Bowls. So, it's good to see the Giants fans give him, a round of applause after he got benched in the blowout win. So, that's pretty cool. Next game, Seahawks at Panthers. The Seahawks beat the Panthers 30-24. Seahawks took care of business. Might have been a little closer than they wanted to, but they took care of business. Kyle Allen, dude ain't good, and I actually heard that the Panthers are finally benching Kyle Allen, and they're going with the rookie, Will Grier. So, these next 2 games for the Panthers might be worth watching because they're going to have a new quarterback in there instead of the terrible Kyle Allen. Next game, Eagles at Redskins. The Eagles win this game 37-27. I thought, Dwayne Haskins played a good game, but it just wasn't enough to beat the Eagles. This game, even though it says the Eagles won by 10 points, it was a pretty close game, man. It was a close game. It was a good game. I didn't get to watch it, but I watched a lot of the highlights and a lot of little key moments. And, of course, I have Terry McLaurin on my fantasy team, so I was keeping up with that game, and Terry McLaurin did not disappoint. So, yeah, the Eagles, they get to 7-7, and next week they play the Cowboys for pretty much the division. And the Redskins, well, they're 3-11. Haskins has been improving, so that's good. Hopefully, the Redskins can give Haskins a good head coach, a good front office, because I have heard that the Redskins are planning on cleaning house, so I like Dwayne Haskins. And I want him to have success in the NFL, but, him being on the Redskins, Uh, it's kind of hard to see him having success, but hopefully, the Redskins finally get it together and Haskins is able to have some success. Next game, Browns at Cardinals. The Cardinals won this game 38-24. Now, we can talk about how the Browns suck and how Baker Mayfield has been terrible this year. We can talk about how Kyler Murray and the Cardinals are looking like they're going to be a threat in the future. But I think the thing we have to talk about is apparently the Browns players, multiple Browns players, towards the end of the game, they were shouting towards the Cardinals sideline, "Come get us." Well, last week we found out that Odell Beckham Jr. wants out of Cleveland. Easy to see why. He's had his worst year of his career. And, there's rumors that the Browns are keeping Freddie Kitchens. So, yeah, things aren't going to get better in Cleveland, anytime soon. So, Odell Beckham wanted out, and now apparently more Browns players want out. Now, look, here's what makes it funny. And no offense towards Cardinals fans if you're watching. It's one thing to shout at the Patriots sideline, "Come get us." At the Saints sideline, Ravens sideline, any of those good teams. It's one thing to do it to one of those teams. But the fact that the Browns players were shouting for a 3-9-1 team at the time, because it's not counting the one that they got. They were shouting at a 3-9-1 team to go get them. That's how bad things are in Cleveland. Just think about that for a second. Who does that? I mean, the Browns are currently 6-8, and they have 2 more wins than the Cardinals. But regardless, Browns players didn't care. They were still shouting for the Cardinals to go rescue them from that mess. That's sad. But I mean, hey, Baker Mayfield needed to be humbled. The dude was way too cocky. And Browns fans needed to be humbled because they tasted a little bit of success last season and they thought that they were poised for a big season. They thought they were going to go win the Super Bowl, and they talked all this mess to, pretty much everyone. They talked mess to the Ravens, that's divisional rivalry, so I guess that's understandable. But they talked mess to Chiefs fans, Texans fans, saying Baker Mayfield is way better than Deshaun Watson and Patrick Mahomes. And then look at it now. Deshaun Watson, Patrick Mahomes, and Lamar Jackson are all going back to the playoffs while Baker Mayfield is going to sit on his couch. Actually, he's probably going to record some more commercials. But, I mean, who even cares about the Browns at this point? It's just funny, honestly. Next game, Vikings at Chargers. The Vikings destroyed the Chargers 39-10. I'm interested in this Vikings team, man. I want to see what they do in the playoffs. Interested. Chargers, well, I think it's the end of an era. I think Phillip Rivers should be gone after this season. I think he should retire, but if he refuses to retire, I do think the Chargers have to hit the reset button. That's a real shame because I loved Phillip Rivers, man. Phillip Rivers was one of my favorite players. I know a lot of people don't like him because he talks a bunch of mess, but I love it, dude. Like, he's a competitor. I do think Phillip Rivers is going to go down as one of the greatest players to never win a Super Bowl. I think that's really unfortunate because I think the guy really deserves it. I think he's really passionate about the game. And it sucks that things are ending that way. But, moving on. Next game, Jaguars at Raiders. The Jaguars won 20-16. Jaguars finally got a win. The Raiders, they've lost 4 in a row, man. 4 in a row. The Raiders, once upon a time, they were 6-4, favorites for the 6th spot in the AFC. And now they're 6-8, clearly out of the playoff race. And they're moving to Vegas. And apparently Oakland fans, since this is the last home game for the Raiders in Oakland, they were pissed. They were booing Carr. And they were throwing trash on the field. Yeah, that's bad. So, anyways, next game. Upset of the week. The Falcons beat the Niners 29-22. I mean, I ain't got much to say about this. I mean, the Niners are still a good team. The Falcons, I don't know what in the world they're doing. Didn't they start like 1-7 now? All of a sudden they want to start winning games towards the end. Yeah, I don't understand the Falcons. I don't know where the Falcons are going. But as for the Niners, I mean, stuff happens, Stuff happens. Sometimes they lose games that you're not supposed to lose. I'm not going to hold it against them because every team loses games that they're not supposed to lose. It happens every single year to just about every single team. Like, how in the world did the Browns beat the Ravens? How in the world did the Texans lose to the Broncos? How in the world did the Rams beat the Seahawks? Stuff happens. It's alright. I mean, this Falcons team also beat the Saints, 3 weeks ago, so it ain't that big deal, in my opinion. Next game, Rams at Cowboys. The Cowboys finally get a win against a team above 500, and they destroyed them 44-21. They finally got back to running the ball with Ezekiel Elliott, and that's what the Cowboys have to do, man. They're a team built to run the ball. Dak Prescott, he's, average to above average, but I don't think he's the guy to win you games. At least the team isn't built that way. The team is built to run the ball, control the clock, and, the defense will play well rested. That's how the Cowboys are built. But for whatever reason, this whole season, up until this game, they were just letting Dak Prescott sling the ball. And then once they go to their play style, the way their team is built, they win big. I don't get the Cowboys. I still think Jason Garrett's going to get fired. The Rams, I don't think they're making the playoffs. And the Cowboys, like I said about the Eagles, next week's game, Eagles versus Cowboys, winner of that game takes the division. Next game, Bills at Steelers. Bills won 17-10. I mean, boring game. You could say it's good defense, but personally I thought it was bad offense, especially from the Steelers' part. Yikes, dude. Josh Allen versus third-string quarterback. Nobody wants to watch that, so. But, I mean, the Bills, they clinched the playoff spot. They got their first 10-win season since 1999, so that's pretty good. Pretty cool for them, Good for the Bills. Next game, Colts at Saints. The Saints destroyed the Colts on Monday Night Football, 34-7. Drew Brees passed Peyton Manning for all-time passing touchdowns. Well deserved. I love Drew Brees. Drew Brees is awesome. He deserves that record. And Drew Brees, he went 29 out of 30 passes against the Colts. He completed 29 passes out of 30 attempts. That is crazy. And the Saints, well, they're a Super Bowl contender, man. And the Colts, well, they're just trash and their season's over. because they're trash. I mean, at one point they were 5-2. Everyone thought they were going to the playoffs and gonna make some noise, but I knew that this Colts team were frauds. The Colts were frauds, and now they got eliminated from playoff contention 2 weeks before the season's over, and I couldn't be any happier. Anyways, that's all I have for you guys for today. Comment down below your own opinions on Week 15 of the NFL season, and yeah, be sure to like and subscribe. Thank you for watching, and I'll catch you guys later. Peace.